Hey FlossTube, it's Jules. I'm Jules. It is September, I think it's the 27th. It's Wednesday night. I think it's the 27th. I'm having the hardest time this week remembering what day of the week it is. So I hope I'm right. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, in the long run. But it's Wednesday night. I thought I'd go ahead and do my video tonight. I've got a couple appointments in the morning on my normal time that I would do the video. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and do it now. And that way I can actually get this done and then I have to worry about it tomorrow morning. So it's all good. You see my buddy Groot, baby Groot, who's hanging out with us. This thing freaks me out. It was a gift from my husband and I love it. I mean, I love him. He's, uh-oh, sorry, he fell off. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. You okay? You okay? You all right? All right. He looks a little blurred now. Sorry, buddy. There we go. Anyway, he can freak you out during this video. But I like to just kind of move him around the bedroom every once in a while. And sometimes it kind of freaks my husband out a little bit because he's so lifelike, as much as a little thing like this can look alive. But depending upon where you put him, if you're not used to seeing him there and you stand right there, he kind of looks like he's alive. And I freaked myself out the other day. And I got out of the shower and I put him in a different spot and had forgotten about it and saw him there and was, oh my god. So anyway, just some of the craziness that goes on here, I suppose. I think it's officially stitching season. Stitching season to me is basically the kind of weather and feeling where I feel like I'm starting to I don't want to say nest, but you know how it is in the fall and the winter, especially if it's cold where you are. You start to kind of want to do everything inside, and the weather always seems to support that and inspire you to sort of stay inside and work on things. And this entire week has been temperatures in the 60s with overcast skies, raining every day, and it has been absolutely awesome. Definitely great start to the fall. And so I've got a lot done this week. I did the stitch along on Sunday, showed that to you guys. I gotta stop doing stitch. I can't do my stitch along in the morning because I clearly was not awake when I was doing that. So because there were just pauses and just I listened back to it. I'm like, oh man, I was tired. And so I'll probably try and do that either later in the day on Saturday or Sunday or something, and just try to get that done. I think the next stitch along that I'm going to do is going to be a stitch along on Prayer of St. Francis, and have another big push to see how much more I can get done of that. And I'll talk more about it. I got some more done on it this week. I got my thread in, and I'll talk about that later. But I think the next stitch along will be Prayer of St. Francis, just to make sure that I get that in a stitch along before that piece gets done, because that'll be the next piece I think that gets done. So, excuse me. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the stitch along. It was, it's fun. It's just I don't think my brain was quite awake yet. I'm not a morning person. Never been a morning person. So even though most of my videos I do are on Thursdays, on my days off, for whatever reason on Sunday mornings, I'm not nearly as awake as I am, say, on a Thursday morning. So, but anyway, I'm enjoying those, and they'll definitely continue, I think, for the foreseeable future. Thank you also for the positive response to the Harvesting the Honey video. I was honestly just most proud of that because I actually figured out finally how to edit video using my phone. And I used a program called, I think it's called InShot, and it was a free program on my Android phone. And it was actually pretty easy to splice things together, overlay text. I really enjoyed it, and I don't really have a fear of editing really anymore as far as that's concerned. So if I have something that I want to insert into a video here, I can definitely do that, especially if I want to show what a completed project should look like. I think I'm going to start putting that in. I haven't figured out how to put a photo into this video because I don't know if my video editor really can do that particular part. So like I did on the B video, or I did it on some video, I just took a video of it and inserted it. So he's creeping me out just looking at him right there. Oh, anyway, t-shirt. Let's show t-shirt. I haven't worn this one in a while, but I think you guys will like this. It says, it's okay if you don't enjoy cross stitch. It's okay. It's okay if you think cross stitch is boring. It's kind of a smart person's hobby anyway. So, that's kind of funny. I don't wear that out in public. I don't like to act like I'm better than the knitters and the crocheters and the scrapbookers, because I'm not. But anyway, it's just kind of a fun little t-shirt that I just wear around the house. But again, Amazon, if you can find it, if it's out there, it's just definitely hit or miss when it comes to these t-shirts. So, but if you're looking for one, hopefully you can find it. Okay, let's see. One other bit of note to note is I'm having a fish problem again. I'm having a fish problem. I thought my fish were all doing great. Thought everything was good. I have a little saltwater tank that I've had for honestly probably like 4 months now that I've had set up, but I have yet to actually put anything into it because I'm scared, because I don't want to kill coral. But the last step that we needed to do before we start adding coral was actually put the proper lighting on top. And I've had the lighting for a while, but my husband and I were kind of debating about how to display the lighting above the tank. And it really, honestly, what it needs is, it needed its own stand because it was heavy enough. I mean, you're talking probably like about a 5-pound light. And it's, the way my tank is, it's rimless. So it's just I think it's acrylic all the way around, and then there's nothing on top. Because typically with saltwater tanks, you don't cover them up. You don't put a top on them because you need for the light to come straight down through. So we actually finally found a light that actually can hook onto the top of the acrylic, and does so in a way that seems to be able to support easily a 5-pound light. So that's, once we get that going, then at some point very soon I can start putting some coral in there. But looking at my tanks, I was working on my tanks this week, and I have this, the first tank that I had, that was the 20-gallon tank, has a number of fish in it now. And I added the rest of those fish in probably about 3 months ago or so. And I had like 5 of these fish called red wags, which just they're just like orange with a black tail on them. And they're really, really cool. And then I added a couple of angelfish. And this is where my problem is, because when I added the angelfish, they were both about this big. And I guess I hadn't been paying that close of attention to the angelfish, because the fish are all just swimming around all the time. So this time I actually stopped and actually was just looking at it. And all of a sudden I realized that one of my angelfish are like this big, and then the other one is still like this big. And I was like, what is going on? What are they bullying this fish? Are they not letting him eat? Like, what's going on? So I went ahead and fed the fish and just stood there for about 5-10 minutes and just stared at this fish and watched. And it's kind of like a combination between Dory and my dog Doogie, who is incredibly nearsighted or farsighted. I don't think he can see things that are up close. And I mean, this fish kind of like swims around, and then it sees the food and it goes for the food, and then it's just like, what was it doing? You know? And then it would swim around like it's hungry and it's looking for food, and then it sees the food, and it just kind of, so there's just something not quite right about this fish. I did some research on it, and it's possible that the fish could actually have a parasite inside of it that's making it not feel good and making it not feel like it wants to eat. And so something has to be done, because I don't see how this fish is even still alive, to be perfectly honest. So what I actually have to do is I keep staring at Groot. Groot, you're going away. Sorry, buddy. I keep looking at him. But I have to put the little angelfish into a smaller bowl. I have to get it kind of hot. I have to put some medicine in there. And so I'm hoping that I can get that done in the next couple of days and see if I can't treat this little bugger and get him to do well. Because, I mean, when I first started adding fish into the tanks, I lost a few fish here and there. A lot of it had to do with the tanks were new. I didn't properly acclimate the fish as I was putting them in. I kind of added them too quickly. And since I've sort of modified my acclimation technique, And I take about 2 hours now between bringing the fish home and actually letting the fish be in the tank. And that, I haven't lost a fish since I started doing that. And I've got a lot of fish now. So, anyway, so I really want to try and save this little angelfish. The betta fish that I went and, saved his little life months ago or whatnot, still alive, has his own little tank with a big fat snail that's having a great time in that tank. And I do want to add a little bit more to that. I think I might add another snail to that tank and maybe some plants or something. But I'll have to show that tank to you sometime. I could put a video in, but tank's a little dirty. I don't want to show my little dirty tank on FlossTube. So, all right, well, let's get to some stitching, shall we? Like I said, a lot of stitching got done this week. I'm going to start with some of the projects that I didn't get as much done on, just to kind of build some excitement about cross-stitching. All right, so with that being said, let's pull out the football project, because surprisingly, I just didn't get very much done on it this week. I did get a little bit more. Last week I was talking about how I wanted to really get this first page done, and you can see where I still haven't quite finished filling this in, but I did start adding the S, and that's the S of the Saturday evening post. So you can see a little bit closer just how much I got done this week. So not as much as I wanted to. That's just a little bit of work. Just didn't feel this project this week. And it's funny because I have been feeling it. I've been wanting to work on it a lot, but this week I just didn't. I just didn't really want to do it. Now, I'm going to try and show you guys the, I have my floss page. I can show you guys the floss page. And if I'm wrong about this, just let me know. But I don't think I have any personal information on here. But there's, this particular piece is from Bella Stitchery Design. There is a Etsy shop that's Bella Stitchery Design that you can look on and find this piece. But there's two things that I want to note. One is I did print out the picture of what it looks like. It's not perfect because it's got a little bit too much of a pink tone to it, and it's not very clear. The detail's not very clear, but you guys can see that's kind of what it's going to look like when it's done. And then the other thing that I want to point out, and like I said, I don't think this is a copyright thing because you can see this for free whenever you look onto most things. It's just the floss page. And what I want to show you guys is if you look at the floss thing, they do. This is how I like my floss pages done, where everything is in order. I don't know if you can see the numbers on there, but everything, like they basically put the floss number in order. Now, a lot of places don't do that. A lot of places the numbering is all over the place. Like if they, like I look at Apothecary shop, which is on the other side. And again, I'm pretty confident that I can show this. I don't think that this is copyrighted because this can be found for free on Cross Stitch Collectibles. If you go to the Apothecary shop design, you can actually click on this link and it'll show you the floss count on it. But as you look here, see they have it organized by A, B, C, D, but they do not. But the actual DMC thread is the number is just all over the place. So it's when you're actually acquiring the thread and you're trying to put everything together, this is difficult. This is really difficult to to know for sure if you've gotten all your stuff. And this is just the proper way to do it, in my opinion, where you actually number or letter everything the way you want to, and then everything's in the proper. I mean, I don't see why you can't do that. It just makes so much sense. And there may be some of you out there that are like, well, duh. I mean, of course, and then others are like, wow, I've never seen one like that. But, when you have one that lines up and it looks great, boy, it stands out. It stands out. So again, that's just great design, in my opinion, all the way around. What shall I show you? Let me show you. Let me just go ahead and show you Rainy Waterloo Place. I did manage to find the next page. And I had a suggestion from somebody who said that I should, instead of continuing to go across horizontally, that I should continue taking it down vertically. And that way I'd have everything filled in all the way across horizontally and then all the way down. So you could actually end up seeing we'll see faster the true size of what the project's going to be. So I actually took that to heart and I went ahead and started doing that. And I got a little bit further. Not much, though. I really just did, from where I finished that page the other night. Sorry, guys. I really just did this much last night. And I did do all that last night. Could have done more, but I got tired really fast. Still recovering from the flu, which, you know, forces, like, you know, usually it's like 9:15. I've been going to bed lately. So, sleeping great, but just having to go to bed early. So that's Rainy Waterloo Place. Hey, do you guys want to see what it actually looks like when it's done? All right. So I'm going to wait. Before I get rid of it, let me show this again. And then I'll show you the picture. Because I actually found the picture I printed out of this pattern. So, there we go. So that's what it looks like. And then the actual completed picture is this. Oh, sorry guys. Right there. So as you can see, I've come down here. I'm about right here. But it's cool. It's someplace in London. So I think it's gorgeous. I like that kind of look to it. So that's good. I like it. I keep talking about it. I can't stop talking about it. All right, so let's show Apothecary Shop. I got more progress done on that, and I also did a very poor job of keeping it clean this week. I had a blanket that we washed, and then I must have stitched on top of the blanket and got blue fuzzies everywhere. Not blue fuzzies. Yes, blue fuzzies. So I got a little bit more done, as you can see. Last time I talked about how happy I was because you could tell that those were shingles, sort of. And then this is the next part. I got all this stuff done. And that's sort of a snowy front of a shop. I don't have a great picture of that. Unless I could put it in. I don't know how lazy I am going to be about editing tonight. But I think I just kind of want to get this done and uploaded. But anyway, that's as far as I've gotten done. So, like, I think this is the bottom of the page, maybe? It's getting close. It's getting close, but still working on it like a maniac. More than before. Let's not say maniac. Maniac sounds like what I did with Old World Map 2 this week, but no, I didn't stitch on it that much. All right, God Save the Queen. God Save the Queen. Let me pull out the pattern. So pretty. Oh my gosh, I can't wait for this one to be done. I'm so excited. So there's that. And so I am here. So I think that's roughly about halfway down on the border. And then so I got all these little arms done. I got this part done. I finished a little bit more there. So not a ton. But again, this was a situation where I was using the Stitch Vision, the magnifiers. And for whatever reason, and however I was positioning my head, once again, it's hurting the bridge of my nose. And I know I just need to build up the muscles or the callus on the bridge of my nose and it won't hurt. But I came upon a solution. And you guys are going to be like, wow, mind blown. So, let me pull out Stitch Vision here. Come here, Stitchy Vision. Hold on. I dropped my prop. Hold on. Where did the prop go? Oh, man. Where'd the prop go? Well, this is embarrassing. There it is. Whew, okay. Sorry about that. Somebody's going to flip it to that, and they're going to just see nobody sitting there for like 30 seconds and wonder what the heck kind of video is this anyway? So let's go back and remind you about Stitch Vision. So I love these little things. They're awesome. It's got the little light. I mean, there's so many cool things about this. And I can see so many things. It's great for splinter removal. It's great for a lot of things. But it's still, it's a bit weighty. It's a bit weighty on the front. So it still hurts here. Ow! It hurts taking them off too. I just pulled out some hair. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna turn that off. What? Okay, so I'm gonna show a little up close version of this because I've had people ask. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right, so it's got these little rubber things on top of what is probably like a little metal piece. Sorry, and you can actually, you can crimp them. You can put them back and forth. And I've tried that. I've done different I've done different settings and stuff to see how it would, you know, sit on my nose. I think it just literally comes down to it's just heavy. And so my poor little, you know, easily bruisable nose, you know, it's so sensitive. So I came upon a solution. I needed to put some padding on that spot so that my nose wouldn't feel the weight as much. And I was looking around, I was like, what can I use for padding? What can I use for padding? And I finally came upon this idea. You guys know what that is. Although right now it looks like a motorcycle, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, I forgot. What do you guys call these things? The little end pieces and whatnot. So, watch this. I put this, I wad it up, put it right in there. Hold on. Hold on. And I just wedge that in there. Can't even see it, can you? It's amazing. And it actually feels better. Ow! More hair! Gosh darn it! I'm not gonna have any hair left after this thing. Anyway, whew, that was painful. I'm sorry I yelled. I hope I didn't wake up your dogs that are sleeping. Apparently, I've gotten a couple comments that people watch my stitch-alongs with their dogs, and the dogs always fall asleep to my videos. And my husband was laughing. He goes, me too. And so, but anyway, so I put the, that actually works, believe it or not. So I just pat it with the little stitchy ends or whatever, the bits and bobs, and it actually feels a lot better. But that's the problem, I think, is that it's a little heavy. So, you know, keep that in mind if you're somebody who maybe is kind of sensitive, bridge of your nose sensitive. I'm still looking at getting one of those floor lamp / magnifiers you guys have been throwing out at me. So I've been looking at some of those, but I'll wait a little bit longer before I jump into something like that. But I think that's going to be probably where I end up going. But obviously I got a fair bit done on that. And then the next piece I'm going to show you is Prayer of St. Francis, which I also use the Stitchy Vision. I find that the more I use the Stitchy Vision, the harder the linen pieces are to stitch on without it. Because even though this is more of this kind of fabric, I could probably get away with not using the Stitchy Vision. It's so much easier when I use it. So I finally got in my Grapevine Weeks Dye Works thread that I've been waiting on. It came in the mail a few days ago, and I got a little bit of stitching done on it this week. So a little further along, as you can see. So I'm pretty much at the end of the piece over here. So I'm making some serious progress. In fact, let me pull out the actual Lizzie Kate, Prayer of St. Francis, number 178. Sorry guys, I'm having a hard time seeing it. There we go. There it is. So there we go. Anyway, I love this thing. This is so cool. So as you can see, pretty much I gotta add that. I gotta do a little here, and then it's just this chunk down there. So I'll show you again. There's that right there. It's coming along very nicely. Very nicely. So that's why I'm going to hold off on doing anything more on this one until the stitch along coming this weekend. We'll get a lot more done. Hopefully get a nice chunk. I'd love to get, at this point, my goal is, well, not my goal, but, you know, I want to finish that part and then fill that in. And basically then just come down and start taking chunks over at a time. Just mowing it down, getting it done. But I love it. It's awesome. All right, Ronnie Row. Ronnie Row. Okay, so yeah, I definitely got more done on this week. So, as you can see, we're gonna scooch in a bit. There it is. I mean, I gotta tell you, there's so many people. I mean, I gotta be at least a dozen of you guys since I started showing these Ronnie Row pieces that have said, I gotta get me a Ronnie Row. And I mean, you really should. It's definitely, anybody can do this, and it's so rewarding to do it, just because you don't feel like you're making that much progress. And then when I put it up here and I see I mean, I can see now. I can see the design pop out. When I'm doing it, it's so hard to see it. But pretty much I got, like, I did this whole row right here, and then I got more done up here. So that was probably 2 nights worth of, not 2 nights, but 2 separate occasions of stitching on it. But that's kind of how I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to take a vertical row at a time and just fill in the piece going across. All right. I think I'm ready for Old World Map 2. And I stitched my little butt off this week on this piece. I did finish the page. If you did the stitch along or watched the stitch along, I actually, in the stitch along, I started work on the next page. So I don't know how many hours I put into it this week, but it was a lot in order to get the next page done. So I started on page 9 now, which makes me very happy. And I think I am, the page I'm on right now, page 9, it's either page 9 or page 10 that will be halfway across this piece. And that will be awesome, I'm pretty sure. Based upon the look of it, but all right, here we go. Ta-da! So there we go. Let me zoom in a little bit, or just a little bit more. So yeah, so you can see how much I got done. I mean, all the mountains and the greenery down here got finished. I can zoom in a little bit more for you. It's just utterly incredible. The design, like I said, the design on it is just ridiculous. And then I just started working on that up there. So, but anyway, do you guys want to see the back of this? Have I showed you? I've shown you the back. I think I showed the back on the stitch along, but look how messy the back can be. The back is so messy. There's just so many different, you know, you're constantly changing the color and everything on it. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. There's so much thread in this that it feels like tapestry. You know, you know, I was thinking when this thing's done, it's gonna be kind of heavy, I think. I don't know how heavy. Oop, hello, Mr. Needle. Let's not have you just hanging out there. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be so awesome. Anyway, so there's that project. Oh goodness. So plans for this week, like I said, I'm gonna do the stitch along for this weekend. Prayer St. Francis. I needed to get more work done. I think, you know, rainy watery place. I mean, the weather's perfect to be working on a rainy watery place. But I also want to really get a bit of a push back onto the football piece again as well, because I kind of ignored that this week a little bit. But I don't feel like adding anything else into the rotation just as yet. It's definitely I'm not quite ready. When I finish Prayer of St. Francis, I might add in something new, but probably something small. Like I said, my in-laws piece, the one about the dog drool, and I'll show that again when I get closer to doing that. Oh, I almost forgot. I actually ordered a new project. I'm sitting here trying to remember. I know you know who you are out there. My enabler. I'm sorry, I forget exactly who it is right now, but I know who it is. I can't remember the name specifically. I was all excited this weekend, I think it was Sunday, and said, "You've got to see this piece. You should get this piece. You need to look at this." And it was, I think it was on it was Etsy store. It was an Etsy store, and it was basically like an old sampler, but it was about beekeeping. And I took a look at it, and I was like, I must order it right now. And so I ordered it. And I told my husband about it, but he didn't look at it until later. And when he looked at it, he goes, yeah, that is us. You need to do that. So when I get that in, I should get that in the next week. It's coming from Canada. So I should get that in soon. And when I get it in, I'll show it to you guys. But it's just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect for us, the beekeepers. So okay, anyway, so that's my new stash, and that's it. And like I said, I think that's it for now. It's it for now. And you guys have a great week, great stitchy week. I'll see you this weekend with the stitch along. Please link me to anything you think I might like, because clearly I'll buy it. And so I can't help myself. But you guys have a great one. I'm going to go downstairs now and stitch. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Take care, guys. Be safe. Enjoy stitchy season. See you later.